Greetings, everyone. Glad to have you here with us on this Wednesday night edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. David Aldridge joins us from the sideline. And a chance now to take a look at some numbers for Gallinari.
In the last 5 games, you can see the trend upwards for effective field goal percentage. And it shows you how confident he's playing right now.
Now the opening lineup for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Gallinari and Adams, the combo out front. Gilgeous-Alexander out there with Paul. And it's Ferguson in at the 3, the small forward. And for the Magic, Fournier and Gordon on the wings. And it's Vucevic. Then it's Markelle Fultz. And it's Birch in at the power forward. Clark right around the halfway mark, and some players starting to feel a little bit beat up, taking those bumps and bruises. Is it hard to decide which injuries to play through versus the ones that make you sit and miss a game?
You know, I don't think so. If you're a younger player, it may be a little more difficult, but as you've spent time in the league, you know your body. You understand what's an ache and a pain and something you can play with, or an injury that really hampers you. So I think as you mature in the league, it becomes much easier to know what's an injury and what's something that you can work through.
That word tolerance becomes pretty important, doesn't it?
Yeah, and everybody's a little different in that regard, Kevin. Some guys have a high tolerance, others have a low or moderate. But again, it's about knowing your body.
Now here's Fultz. They look to him for part of their offensive attack. Right now, he averages nearly 12 points a game. Here's Fournier. The jumper from the free throw line is good.
And the defense knows Fournier can knock these shots down. He's really crafty, even when they're right up on him.
Here's Paul. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
And you see the ability to rise and fire from mid-range, even against that length.
You know, guys, if they're inside, that shot probably gets blocked. But from mid-range, I mean, he's able to get it off over the bigger defender there.
And the shot goes in from Fultz.
Yeah, and you know, it's important that Fultz continue to develop his in-between game because he knows when to pull up.
Here's Paul. Here in the first, a little over a minute played so far. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Cans the 12-footer.
With a much bigger man guarding him, that's not an easy shot to get off. Never mind to knock down. Terrific basket.
Outside Fournier. Back to Fultz. Trains the three-pointer. Fultz has got 5 now.
Yeah, the clever Frenchman. Fournier solid at recognizing when the defense isn't covering one of his teammates.
Adams taking his time here. Here's Paul. Again, the Thunder score. 15 seconds left in the first quarter. Fultz with the ball. He's coming off a 10-point game against Charlotte. He lobs up the alley-oop pass. And stolen by Fournier. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. Magic lead by 1. 2K Sports, back in a moment from the Amway Center. Chris Paul, an elite defensive player, a student of the game for sure, talks about his knack for making a lot of steals, forcing turnovers.
The steals thing is just something that I've always had a knack for doing, and just I think it's because I watch so much basketball.
Well, you hear about the importance of watching film, Greg. It reveals itself in many ways.
And learning guys' habits, what they like to do, gives him a knack for when to go after steals without hurting his team.
And close game underway so far. We'll see if either of these teams can jump out in the second quarter. And guys, for the Magic, what jumps out to you so far, numbers-wise?
You know, I think they're going to be happy with how they played here early on.
I agree with you. I mean, they hit the ground running, had a strong start to the game that they're hoping they can manage the rest of the way.
At the 4 and the 5, we have Gordon and Vucevic. Carter Williams is out there with Terrence Ross. And it's a one-do in at the small forward position. That's the group starting the second quarter for the Magic. Clock is at 3. Orlando needs to get off a shot. For 3, Ross drills it from outside. Ross has got his first 3 points of the game.
And that's where Ross has been most efficient. Raining it off the catch. Love it.
Poked away. And it goes out of bounds. And last touch by Carter Williams. Let's check out the Eastern Conference standings now that we're in the new year. Taking a look at Orlando. They're 7th right now. Not a bad spot, but certainly they'd like to string together a run of wins.
And seeing where the Magic are, they're one of those teams that hasn't quite figured it out this year. A lot of talent, a lot of heart, but nothing to put them up on that next level.
You know, it's really hard to figure out exactly what's been missing, but there is something missing. It perhaps could be the system they're playing in.
Now here's Ross. He's covered closely. Now Carter Williams, and slam dunk by Vucevic.
Capable of finishing off those alley-oops, throw it in Vucevic's area, and he's going to go get it for you.
Schroeder against Carter Williams. Now here's Noel. He's guarded closely. Knocks it loose, and the turnover again by Oklahoma City. Coming into this having notched a win against the Rockets in their last game.
And really showed their depth when they needed it most. On the road, having to manufacture points.
And, you know, the guys on the bench have great confidence in themselves, and when their name was called, they were ready to compete and contribute.
High post try, and Fultz gets it to go. Fultz has got the lead up to 6 now for the Magic.
Boy, it's so good to see how under control Fultz is. I mean, even when the defense is trying to rattle him, shake him up, distract him, it doesn't bother that sweet jumper.
Guys, that's just really unstoppable. He poses a ton of matchup problems for whomever he's facing.
And a close game so far through the first 2 quarters as we reach halftime. It's the Magic. They lead by 4. We'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the 2K Sports Halftime. It was a closely contested first quarter for Orlando. They were able to squeeze ahead by the end of the period with just a 1-point lead. They battled hard in the second quarter and it was reflected on the scoreboard. What did you think? And that'll about do it as we get ready for the second half. Let's take you down to Kevin Harlan.
Shout out to my main man, Joel.
Joel, what up?
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams try to gain an edge. You have to like what we're seeing so far from Markelle Fultz.
He's done a fantastic job of finding open space to operate within the first few quarters.
And you know what? It helped that they had a few guys with very hot hands on the perimeter, too.
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. Third quarter action getting rolling right now. Brought to you by Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. Here's who's on the floor. So for Oklahoma City right now, Gallinari and Adams, the combo out front. Gilgeous-Alexander out there with Chris Paul. And it's Ferguson in at the 3 spot. For 3, Fournier nailed from three-point land. Fournier's got 5. Mark, we're seeing more and more young coaches in the NBA. You think this is a trend? Is it completely circumstantial? What's your view on it?
Well, I think you've got more younger coaches that are capable and able to coach. And the league is quite young, too. I think it's a current trend. But we've seen that before in decades past when it seems the wave of coaches are younger. I think it's more or less kind of the cycle of life that we see across a lot of different industries.
Here's Adams. Markelle Fultz making his last shot. Good on that shot. And with that, the Magic lead is cut down to just 4 points with the bucket from Paul.
Paul is solid and sound in his mechanics. I mean, he gets squared up before he shoots. Really good balance and excellent follow-through.
Here's Birch. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Good on the three-point shot. Vucevic has got the lead back up to 7 now for Orlando. 2-for-1 chance here.
Let's see if they use the clock to their advantage.
Got a piece of it. And it's out of bounds. Oklahoma City able to retain possession here. Mohamed Bamba, he's checked in for the Magic. Ross comes in for Cam Birch. .34 seconds left in the third quarter. Here's Paul. Connects on the foul line jumper. Paul's got 5 points now this quarter.
This is one of Paul's strengths to me. Very effective at taking advantage of any holes he sees in that in-between area on the floor.
Now here's Ross, and he can be counted on to put some points on the board every night. He's averaging right around 13.5 points a game.
And you don't ever want to get into the habit of letting the offense get to the rim.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's the message they were sending with that foul. Nothing easy inside.
That free throw good from Ross. And both free throws good for Ross.
And that's another area where he is just a superb player. Excellent at the free throw line.
It's tipped. And here we go with the Magic fast break. Bamba's running for three. Fournier. The long distance three is buried. Fournier's got the lead up to 10 now for Orlando. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Magic out in front, ending the third quarter with a 13-5 run. And after a quick break, we're going to come right back with the start of the fourth quarter. Let's take a listen to a recent huddle from Coach Billy Donovan.
Play hard and battle through this right now. We need to pick up our energy. Our energy is not where it needs to be right now. They are playing harder than us. It's plain and simple right now. We got to get after it a little bit better.
And Billy Donovan displeased that they're losing the battle of effort, wanting to see a lot more activity from his team.
Yeah, and if your shots aren't falling or if you run into some bad luck, okay, you can deal with that. But a lack of energy, that's going to frustrate any coach to no end.
Fourth quarter of action is upon us. Thanks, as always, for joining us. Gordon and Bamba, the combo inside. Fournier and Ross, they're the wings. And it's Carter Williams in at the point. That's who's out there for Orlando. Puts it up off the inbound and gets hacked by the D. He'll go to the line. That's on Evan Fournier.
Yeah, just nice strength there and then just off with the shot.
Boy, with all the contact he drew there, Greg, that would have been a heck of a bucket. He nearly got it to go.
That's good from Schroeder. The mid-range jump shot, you've talked about this a lot, is still valuable if you can hit it with consistency.
Yeah, and if it's a quality shot, Kevin, I think you should shoot it. Move the defense, move the ball to get a quality shot, and I think one of the very best at knocking down the mid-range jump shot, Kevin Durant clearly. But how about Chris Middleton? Elite mid-range jump shooter, and DeMar DeRozan as well has a strong mid-range game, too.
And so it's Carter Williams. He'll bring up the ball for the Magic. 1:29 left to play here in the fourth. Here's Fournier, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for two.
The Frenchman Fournier, always looking to get the shot up, but really good at drawing fouls.
And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Magic.
The activity level defensively, I've really been impressed with. They've been in attack mode on the defensive end.
Something that's also benefited them tonight are the turnovers they've forced and the points that have come along with those forced turnovers.
And he knocks down the first one.
And Fournier is highly skilled, a crafty European talent who's really fearless when it comes to shooting the basketball.
Vucevic, he's checked in for the Magic. Khem Birch comes in for Gordon. And so Fournier nails both of them. You know, Greg, for the Thunder fans, hard to see their star power dwindle, but they got a lot in return.
Yeah, but the Thunder were capped out. They hadn't made it past